Hi, I'm Alex Smith, a freshman here at the University of Kentucky.
I'm Dylan Hardesty, a freshman from the University of Kentucky.
As a college student at the University of Kentucky, I value food security above many other things because it is what allows me to succeed day in and day out. With the rising price of meal plans on campus, the lowest selection cost around $1,575. And this food selection here varies little to none from week to week. It is becoming increasingly more difficult for financially disadvantaged students to get a healthy, culturally appropriate, and practical meal. In March of 2019, around 300 students participated in a hunger strike against the dining halls like the 90 and Champions Kitchen because they felt as though their basic needs were not being met.
This politically charged act was a part of the Basic Needs campaign that had three key demands, and it was to build a physical basic needs center, establish a basic needs fund, and have an on-staff basic needs provider for all students.
In this video, we're going to analyze the changes and promises made by our president at the University of Kentucky. Some of those commitments included, but are not limited to, establishing a basic needs fund, hiring a staff who would work to improve the basic needs of the student, and providing a physical basic needs center that the students can go to when they need it.
We are also going to look into current resources that are available to students post-hunger strike to see if they are effective and helpful. To find out how the university currently helps struggling students, we spoke to Therese Smith. Therese is the director of the Community of Concern here at the University of Kentucky. The first question we asked her was about her job to get an idea of what issues she dealt with.
So my job, I am the director for the Community of Concern. So our office is a non-clinical case management office, and we look at how do we support students in non-academic ways to be safe and successful.
After conversing with her about students with food insecurities, she gave us some insight that could show the larger issue at hand.
We do work with students who disclose that food insecurity is one of their concerns or one of their issues. Very rare. I will tell you, rarely is food insecurity the only problem. Generally speaking, it is one of many things that are causing distress or disruption for the students experiencing it.
We then asked her about what resources were available to students who struggle with food insecurities, and here's what she told us.
So a number of resources that exist on our campus include we have one cafe, which is open every day from, I believe it's 10 to 2. It's a $1 meal, and you can get a second one to go. We have Swipe Ahead, which is a process by which students can apply and receive meal swipes on their student ID so that they can use that in either Champions Kitchen or Fresh Food Kitchen.
Therese went on to list some more options, such as financial wellness funds, but we were very intrigued about One Cafe, the first resource she stated. After further research, we discovered this cafe was open most likely due to the hunger strike, as it was first opened shortly after the hunger strike ordeal went down. As stated by UK Dining Management, the mission of the cafe opening was to indeed reduce hunger and food insecurity for the UK student community. We even decided to check out the cafe for ourselves to see if it was a viable solution to food insecurities on campus. The small room was located on the second floor of Erickson Hall. The options were limited and the food was not the greatest, but it did only cost $1 and would be a great resource for any students struggling to pay for the cost of food on campus. Our final question was about the hiring of a staff member. This new staff member would solely be focused on improving the ability of the university to help out students with food and housing insecurity. This commitment was made by the president of the university as part of his deal to end the hunger strike that took place. Here's what was said about the progress on that.
So we do now have a position called Basic Needs Program Coordinator, and that person reports to me. I hired that person this summer. And yeah, so that position does now exist. She started in July.
And you would say that was in direct correlation with the request from the students that were protesting?
It was definitely something we had sort of knew we would want to do at some point. I do think it would be fair to say that the hunger strike fast forwarded that timeline to create that position and find the funding to get them hired.
One final remark came from Therese, which could explain the cause of students feeling as if they are not being properly provided basic needs on campus.
A lot of times we can work really hard to engage the student and connect them to all of the things, but if the student is not in a position to really utilize those or not interested in utilizing them, sometimes we have to, for lack of a better word, give the student the opportunity to fail, and that honestly is probably the days that, or the situations that I find the hardest, when I can see that there are all of these things that if the student were engaging and using them, probably could completely change their path for the positive.
The interview with Therese provides some great information on what resources are available here on campus to combat food insecurities. But ultimately, it is best to talk to the students to see what they have experienced so far. So that's exactly what we did. The first question we had for them was if they had ever even heard of the $1 lunch available at Erickson Hall.
Have you heard of the $1 meal available above Erickson Hall?
Yes, but I haven't used it yet.
I have not.
You are not, but would you use it if you were aware?
Yes, that sounds fantastic.
No.
If you did know about it, would you use that resource?
Yes.
Yes. Now, have you used that resource? No, you have not.
Next, we wanted to hear about their knowledge on the Basic Needs Center on campus.
Are you aware of staffing for a basic needs center on campus?
No, I'm not.
I did not know that.
We then conducted a class survey with our WRD 112 class to expand our results a little more. Out of the 7 students who took the survey, 5 said they did not know about the $1 lunch, and 4 of them said they did not know where Erickson Hall was. After informing them on what the $1 lunch was, 4 of the 7 students showed interest in visiting and using the resource.
While these students may not currently struggle greatly with food insecurity, as the years go on, they may do things such as move off campus and receive less funding for college from parents. So not having knowledge on these resources could hurt them down the line.
The problem may not be whether or not there are sufficient resources on campus for them, but instead whether or not they have the proper knowledge of these resources when the time comes around that they need them.
The hunger strikes surely seem to have some sort of positive effect on the campus though. With new resources such as one cafe, a basic needs full-time staff member, and more funds available to help the students, the university seems to have taken action and truly listened to the demands of the student.
Students will still have to take action, although, making the best of these resources. As Therese Smith hinted at, they can provide as many resources as possible, but getting students to engage with them and use them is still an issue that they're still having to combat.
Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed.